First round action continues in Columbia, South Carolina, where the 8-seed Clemson has made the short drive to its rival's home and faces 9-seed USC, a 1-seed the last 2 years, but charting a different course this year without Juju Watkins. So we'll see what, if any, impact that has on the star freshman here today. Ready to go with the winner moving on to get the 1-seed South Carolina. And away we go from Columbia.
Clemson starting that possession on the defensive tip. Make sure they want to get their defense set. This is a team that led the ACC in opponent points per game. So they lock down. They're going to play in the gaps. They're going to run into some switches. They're going to help. They're going to try to force you into tough twos.
Jazzy Davidson loves that lefty scoop. She missed it and then thrown away by the Trojans. Up to 21 and the first trip to the big dance for this program since 2019. Just hoping for better offense from them now that they're healthy. Hines gets it to go and starts the scoring.
Well, right away starting.
Gets it started. Davidson was playing with two. Hines batted it away. And a turnover forced by the Tigers. Rachel Rose gets it over the timeline against Malia Samuels. Rose, another player who's been banged up recently, hasn't been able to practice a whole lot, but healthier. And again, Sean Poppy hoping that helps the offensive flow. Rose draws a foul and will get two at the line. Got a win against NC State. Hadn't done that in a long time. And
it's a team I asked Sean Poppy, said, what did those 3 wins in particular do for your group? And he said, more than anything, they started to believe they were pretty good. Instead of us talking to them and telling them, hey, you're a good team. Like, we have to build consistency. We got to continue to grow. They started to believe they were a good ball club.
Dunn swirled it out, and Hines went soaring for the rebound. It's been a really good first couple of minutes for Clemson. Here's Moore, the best player on this Tigers team. Second team All-ACC, 12 in the white. Good cut from Raven Thompson. Carving out space and scoring.
Well, Raven Thompson is such an X factor for this team. I mean, talk about a player who makes the right play, who makes the right reads. They run a lot of things through her.
And how about the roll for Kara Dunn to get USC on the board for the Trojans. Hines going to work against Williams, defended it well. Hines got it back and exits for the Tigers. And a legal screen set by Demira Hines gives it back to USC. Year 5, she's done a wonderful job with this program that had been to one NCAA tournament in the 15 years before she arrived.
Well, Lindsay Gottlieb's no stranger to success. I mean, she had great success when she was at UCSB and a Cal, took the Cal team to the Final Four.
Ahead of the pack, Kennedy Smith lays it in, and the Trojans looking to run and do so. Thompson a trail 3. Got it! How about this start for Clemson? Davidson attacking. Look at those long strides, but she missed it. Loose ball Moore. Thompson wants another. She's got another. Timeout USC. Jazzy Davidson still scoreless, 0 of 4 shooting, and the lefty rolls out another.
Jazzy Davidson in the last 3 games has really struggled from the floor, shooting just 31% after shooting at 47% the 7 before that. So she's got to find her way. USC as a team struggled at the end of the season, and there's Londynn Jones getting an opportunity in transition.
Jones lays it in, and that was sorely needed for USC to snap a 6-0 run. Thompson attacks on the baseline, working on Dunn, carving out space, and got fouled. And we'll get 2 at the line.
Continuing to build off the positive momentum that these young ladies have given the program.
Yeah, how about the number 7 recruiting class in our ESPN rankings arriving next year? 4 top 50 recruits, including the number 11 player in the country in Trinity Jones. No, it's this year, like you said, for Clemson.
That's right.
Sean Poppy said to us, even he thought maybe year 3, year 4, including those transfers they brought in and the staff to make it happen even sooner. 6 6-point lead for the Tigers, and USC trying to sort through a slow start offensively. 3 of 13 shooting with 3 turnovers. Jazzy Davidson scores it at the rim, her first points.
A lot of mental mistakes over the last couple of minutes. We challenge them to continue to communicate and not let USC get any momentum in this first half.
Well, the lead down to 4. That one swirled out for Mia Moore. Great seal. Kennedy Smith scores it off a great entry.
Well, missed shots give you an opportunity to really push in transition, and Kennedy Smith does a great job of sealing the mismatch in Moore.
Here is Hannah Cone, who had that iconic shot for the Tigers. USC wants to run, but Davidson turns it over. Cone spots up again and got fouled. She subbed out of the game at the 6:15 mark, and 5 minutes of game time later returns to the Tigers bench. Important for Clemson's front court. Cone goes just 1 out of 3 at the line, and it's a 1-possession game late in the first. Davidson carving out space, too strong. Rebound ripped down by Roshatite, and then taken back by Clemson. Moore gave it off to Cone. Cone attacks. Missed it in tight around Smith. Off the ball screen, a switch on Davidson. Smith faces up and knocks it down.
Yeah, that's really good execution.
Found Hines working on Williams. Drop step. Rolls up to close the first. Clemson got off to an excellent start to begin the first quarter, but USC ends the quarter on an 8-2 run. We got a 1-point game. Of course, a USC team that has been a 1 seed each of the last 2 years, couple of Elite 8 trips. No Juju Watkins all season, as we all know, but it's another former #1 overall recruit in Jazzy Davidson making her NCAA Tournament debut, and she has done so much all season for the Trojans.
Yeah, she's carried this team all season long, leads them in nearly every major statistical category. And Kara Dunn, again, her second 3 of the ball game. Her ability to stretch the floor.
He told us when he took the job, he thought this might happen in year 3 or year 4. Well, it's happened this year with this group and so many transfers he brought in. Here's Thompson. Working on the block against Davidson. Nice up and under for 2.
Raven Thompson's just solid. She's just solid. She has a high IQ. She understands the game. She utilizes her strengths, the shot fakes, the step throughs, the counter moves.
Meantime, Kennedy Smith drew the foul. Such a good job with this program. And look, they've navigated ups and downs this year without Juju Watkins. But here is a 9 seed and into the NCAA Tournament again. Rachel Rose, the 5th-year senior, gave it up for Thompson. Driving dish. Perriman looking for the back cut, not there. Rose comes to get it. Shot clock winding down. Rose has it blocked by Williams at the expiration of the shot clock.
As you said, we've got to defend, we've got to rebound, we've got to be able to get out in transition. And this, since the Big Ten tournament, we've had an opportunity to get back to the basics. What do we do well? It's defense, it's transition, it's move the ball.
The advanced metrics will tell you this is one of the best defenses in the country from USC. They're up by 1. Davidson knocks down a jumper. Her second bucket after a slow start.
And Jazzy Davidson with that 6'1" long frame can elevate over smaller defenders and get that shot anytime she wants.
She's Big Ten Freshman of the Year, candidate for National Freshman of the Year too. Taylor Johnson-Matthews draws a foul and will get to it the line. Leading the team in points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks. I mean, she just does everything. Yeah. What impresses you most?
Heralded high school players who come in and don't really value the defensive end of the floor. Lindsey Gottlieb said, I think she didn't really see herself as a defender, and she's second in the Big Ten in blocks, and she uses that length to get a lot of steals. I mean, she absolutely can be an All-American on both sides of the ball.
She's the only player in the country averaging 2+ steals and 2+ blocks per game. She had it poked away there by Taylor Johnson-Matthews. The trailer. Cans a three. Jones. Too strong. Battle on the boards. Laura Williams came away with it. Davidson knocks it down. Third three for USC, spurred by the activity of Laura Williams. Moore, they dropped off, or couldn't make the Trojans pay, and Davidson clears it. With those long limbs in transition, Davidson scores it through the contact. So much on the plate of Jazzy Davidson, like we said this year. But good influence in Juju Watkins to lean on from the bench. Underneath, the follow-away rolls down. Nicely done by Morgan Lee. So Kennedy Smith to put it in. Playing with 2 fouls here in the first half. Nice baseline out of bounds drawn up for Davidson.
This is a Clemson team that is an elite defensive team. And when you look at them individually, they don't look like elite defenders, but they scheme, they play collectively, good team, defense, strategy, defense. They want to force you to hit the shots that they are willing to live with.
Davidson in transition, pulls, can't hit. And Clemson controls with $1:20 to go in the first half. Regional 4 Sacramento, bottom left of your bracket. The winner of this one against South Carolina, a 1 seed on Monday. Lee pops out. Lee buries it!
Clemson career high, 5 points in the first half and has 7 already in this ballgame. But look, this is a green light offense. You come in, shot ready, let it fly.
And what a lift Morgan Lee has brought. That was just her second 3 of the season, and she's picked maybe their 2 biggest games of the year to hit them.
That's right. She sure has, and you know, we have this saying in coaching, stay ready so you don't have to get ready. This is a player who has had limited minutes, and she makes it count when she gets her opportunity.
Thompson, flyby, corner kick, extra pass, Cone! Too strong. And it will stay at this end of the floor. All right, 4 seconds on the shot clock for the Tigers. Thompson, gotta get it up. Follow-away comes up empty, and a shot clock violation. Dunn into Davidson. Davidson contested, well defended by Clemson. And we hit halftime in Columbia, South Carolina with the Tigers in their first trip to the NCAA. Let's check in with Molly McGrath.
Well, USC head coach Lindsey Gottlieb really stressed the importance of continuing to control the pace, saying we want to speed them up, force them to play far away from the basket. And she also emphasized shot selection, saying we need to have confidence in knocking down those open shots. And said if Jazzy Davidson stays hot, they'll lean on her. But Gottlieb wants more aggression and confidence from her offense overall.
Yeah, just 6 points from Kara Dunn, who averages 15 points per game. They get a stop right away and an early touch for Dunn. Clemson led by as many as 7 in the first half. USC down by 2 to start the third. And a turnover with Malia Samuels.
So this is a really long, good defensive rebounding team in USC. You got to get back in transition. You got to force USC, and John Poppy said it to Molly heading out into halftime. We've got to make it a half-court game.
They got 5 to shoot. Demira Hines looking for Thompson. Going to work on Smith, who forced the miss, and Hines couldn't scoop it. Kennedy Smith, who we've already seen her matched up with the point guard and more. Just what they want in the half court. Davidson got it at a foul.
I really like when USC uses Jazzy Davidson off the ball, these curl cuts to the rim, a late rotation by Demira Hines. Jazzy Davidson uses that length. Does such a good job of finishing in traffic.
She has been sensational as a rookie. Lindsey Gottlieb has said, as far as freshmen go in the country, we think there's no one better than Davidson.
The length of the length of SC. I like it for facilitating purposes if you can get her to make a play, and that's a tough shot.
Typically off the bench, 9 points per game, third leading scorer. Smith rocked with it, and a USC turnover.
And Jazzy Davidson looking for the screen and actually backs up into the screener. And that's free reign for Taylor Johnson-Matthews.
So 5 threes for Clemson. You said it is stark in their wins versus their losses. How many threes they hit?
9.5 per game in their wins and just 5 in their losses. It is the great equalizer, and Sean Poppy's team will trade the opponent's 2s for their 3s.
And overall, it's 8 threes per game, second most in the ACC. Moore skipped it. Rose enters. Hines turns, scores it. Davidson around the high ball screen. And now Smith. Smith, too strong, not known for the three-point shot, and Clemson went under.
And you'll live with that if you're Clemson. That's who you want taking those shots, as long as they're contested.
A good battle by Malia Samuels, who took away the feed for Hines.
Oh, nice look.
Davidson pays it off from Samuels.
The look off by Samuels in transition.
Junior backup guard who plays such a big role off the bench typically. 23 minutes a game, got the start today. And Taylor Johnson-Matthews all the way to the cup. Sean Poppy takes a timeout after the bucket.
Offensively, defensively, giving up layups in transition. She's the pressure release on the backside. He knows that he is going to need her to step up for his team to be successful.
His fifth-year senior point guard trying to get her going, and Moore gets the pick. More 2-on-1, drop off. Johnson-Matthews rolled it off. Check in with Molly.
Yeah, in that timeout, Sean Poppy started by sitting everyone down in the huddle and said, everyone pause, take a breath. And he made everyone take a breath in and a breath out with him. He acknowledged that they're struggling with USC's lightning fast pace. He told them he needs them to keep fighting and battling through that.
The length is affecting them. It's affecting them at times. And with Sean Poppy really challenging his point guard, it's going to continue to be a part of what they do, but they cannot allow the easy runouts and the easy wins in transition.
Meantime, Laura Williams splits. Hines telling Moore where to go offensively. Thompson left alone. Another skyscraper three. This one off the mark, and it's back to USC.
They got back into it with a win against Iowa, which you saw was their highest ranked win, but they've had some ebbs and flows and some lack of consistency, but they have been able to grow through it, and Lindsay Gottlieb said she wouldn't change a thing. It's made them all better.
Check in with Molly.
And Lindsay Gottlieb also told us the way they ended this season with those 4 straight losses gave this team an edge. It kind of forced them to go back to what they're good at, simplify things. And Jazzy Davidson told us they're motivated to prove themselves and avenge those losses at the end of the year, saying we have yet to play our best basketball.
And you're going to see tight battles, and in these types of ball games, it comes down to who else is going to step up and who's going to make plays.
Smith in transition. Gives it away. Clemson with numbers. Rose ahead of the pack. Lays it in. Backs it out for Jazzy Davidson. Davidson slicing in, wrapped it around, and Iwuchukwu couldn't handle it. Dribble handoff. Rose, deep one. Got fouled by Smith, and that's 4. 2:18 to go, and Kennedy Smith knows her sentencing. She goes straight to the USC bench. Who heads to the line as a 82% career free throw shooter from Scranton, Pennsylvania.
There you go, that jinx.
She's been such 3 years at Wofford. Hip surgery last year, and then playing through, as Sean Poppy told us, a few different nagging injuries this year, and trying to leave it all out there in the NCAA Tournament. Diana Mendez gave it up for Davidson, spinning out Rose, top shot, Jazzy Davidson.
And we mentioned the heavy load that Jazzy Davidson's been carrying all season long from a statistical standpoint, and now in the absence of Kennedy Smith on the floor, it's even more so in this ballgame.
She's up to a game-high 18 points.
USC really has to find a way to get Cara Dunn going.
Great catch underneath from Morgan Lee, who gets it to go. Points off the bench for Morgan Lee, who only averages 6 minutes a game. Davidson too strong, and the rebound down to the Tigers. What a job by Morgan Lee. Sean Poppy said season probably hasn't gone the way she was expecting. Hasn't played as many minutes as she's wanted. Johnson Matthews the fall away, and a timeout. Lindsey Gottlieb and USC.
All season long, and once in a while it's one player stepping up and another player stepping up, and in this moment, the biggest moment for this program in a long time, everyone is making plays.
Now where does USC go looking for answers? Dunn bails him out, 2 and a foul. Much needed for the Trojans.
Yeah, Cara Dunn's got to get going. You got to find a way to get her some shots, and I would expect USC to come with some pressure. Try to change the tempo a little bit right here after this free throw.
Cara Dunn's first point since halftime. Clemson handles the pressure. Sets up in the half court. About a 2-second difference, game of shot clocks at the end of the third. Clemson unsettled here in the quarter court. Throws on the baseline, gotta get it up. Rolls off. And Williams didn't get it to Samuels in time. Would have been a heave anyway. And we will head to the fourth quarter in Columbia, South Carolina.
Having some fun. She said, we played well. I'm smiling for a little while we get locked in for this next matchup.
And then back to work.
And then back to work.
Thursday, she was here watching the first 4 to see whether they would face Samford or Southern. She had her manual pencil sharpener going while she was scouting. I mean, she was just locked in. That's old school.
That's old school. Not even the mechanical pencil.
Yeah. Jazzy Davidson draws a foul on the floor.
Offensively involved. She's got to get some touches. If you can hold off until about the 6-minute mark before you have to bring Kennedy Smith back, I think that's what you want. But it's got to start in transition. So you got to get stops, get the rebound, get out. That's where they've found success.
Samuels knifing on the baseline. Dunn flashed out at Rose. And illegal screen set by Clemson.
Yeah, these dribble handoffs are hard because you got to get stopped before the opponent so that they have time to change direction. And Jazzy Davidson just ran right into her.
Davidson knocks it down for the lead.
And Sean Poppy talked about his team. He said, we've got to get away from over-dribbling. Got to get a couple of dribble punches, get the ball moving, and they're in a situation right now where they're over-dribbling.
And a foul on the 3 again from USC, this time from Laura Williams. So it puts Taylor Johnson-Matthews at the line. But again, Wright State, then junior college. Such a great story this season in returning to the NCAA Tournament. 2 out of 3. Three ties, 8 lead changes here in Columbia. Davidson gave it up. And now Cara Dunn around the screen. Dunn works on Hines. Spinning. Fall away. Off glass. Yes.
It's a tough shot for Cara Dunn. You don't often see her attack off the bounce. I thought she did a good job of change of pace, change of speed, and a tough shot over a really strong defensive effort.
You said Cara Dunn had to be more involved. She has been. Johnson Matthews, the good cut, and got bumped by Mendez. Lindsey Gottlieb has raved about Cara Dunn this year. Says she has over-delivered in every way, been an absolute rock. Hey, coverage of the NCAA. For game times and networks, go to ncaa.com. Good on both for Taylor Johnson-Matthews. Biggest lead in this game was 7 by Clemson a couple different times. Meantime for USC, largest lead just 3. Davidson backs it out, summons the high ball screen from Williams. Davidson, mid-range, got it! What a day for Jazzy Davidson. 23 points for the stud freshman. And we ping-pong back and forth. Thompson wanted the ISO against Samuels. Thompson going to work. Wrapped it around beautifully for Hines. Wasn't that her best game? Well, if he told her yesterday, it hasn't slowed her down at all. Smith missed it, snatched it back, and then Thompson ripped it away. Late shot clock. Moore off the bounce. Gets bumped, and it'll stay at this end of the floor. No foul called. So 3 left for Clemson on the shot clock. 6 enormous minutes left for Sean Poppy and Lindsey Gottlieb's teams.
Get in.
Moore does. Thompson went up to get it. She rises and knock it down, and the rebound down to Smith. Smith in transition. Dunn spots up. Dunn knocks it down. $14 for Kara Dunn, and you said she's got to be big down the stretch, and she's done just that.
Well, she's got to hunt shots. She can't just be out there on the floor. She's got to find opportunities. And how about a big-time first bucket for Mia Moore?
What an answer from Clemson. Their star supplies her first points. Davidson can't respond. Hines muscles down the rebound. What a game this has been. One of the best games in this first round of the NCAA Tournament. Moore around the screen. The bounce for Hines. Lays it in. Davidson couldn't handle the pass. Bodies go tumbling. Johnson-Matthews is forced into a tie-up. And the ball will come back the other way.
These players have bought in. They compete. They play with energy. They play together.
He'll tell his team very often, he told us, that if we roll out the balls, we might not be the most talented team. But he says it's all a puzzle. Everyone brings their piece of the puzzle, and he will put his puzzle up against anyone else's. Hines from Moore swirls it home.
Good execution after the timeout. Mia Moore's found a little bit of a rhythm. Give USC in the 2-man. Capitalize.
Where do the women of Troy go for an answer down by 5? Davidson has been fabulous. Uses Dunn. A 3. Yes! 2-point game.
Coming back to it right here.
Moore straight on. Can't hit. Dunn clears it for the Trojans. 17 for Kara Dunn. 4 of 5 from 3. Meantime, Davidson doing everything and carrying USC. But turns it over. Hines tied up, and Davidson and the Trojans force a held ball, and it stays at this end of the floor. USC player, the only other 4 Trojans who have ever done it: Juju Watkins, Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Miller, and Cynthia Cooper.
I mean, incredible names to be a part of. The greatest to ever play the game. Just so happened that they all went to USC.
Smith got it!
I love it. We're back and forth. We knew it was going to be a low-scoring defensive battle, but we got some high-level shot making right now.
Off the bounce, taken away by Smith. On the run-out, backs it out for Dunn. Too strong. Davidson put back for the lead. is the USC run. Moore comes to get it. Moore's three is good. Back back and forth we go. With last year's National Player of the Year, Juju Watkins, of course, out all season. You're watching.
Jazzy going downhill and to get Cara Dunn off of a screen. I really like it when you send Jazzy across the lane line, too, and look to get her cutting to the basket. This one right here. Headed to the rim. She doesn't get it. Looks like they're coming back with the same play.
Good call by you. Dunn's open. Dunn off the shot fake. To the basket. Scores it.
Yes.
And a foul.
I mean, she probably had the three. May have been in her head. Clemson sucks to the ball on the drive. That's their team defense. They suck to the ball on the drive. So there was a shot here, and then an overcommit on the closeout. What a great read by Cara Dunn. The slight shot fake, you know they're coming. Good attack, and that is a tough finish with the contact.
And look at the reaction from Juju Watkins. Cara Dunn has been enormous in the fourth. Stamps the three-point play.
Standing facilitator, make a right read, make the right play.
Rachel Rose keys it in to Mia Moore to the basket, and Moore gets fouled. And we get two at the free throw line. Mia Moore 67% at the free throw line this year. 73% over her 5-year career. One possession game through the first round, through these first 2 days. And Moore's good on both. And we're tied at 61.
Man, with only one timeout left, I like NCAA right here, just calling the play, knowing that you might need it.
Of course, so important to advance the ball in the women's game. Dunn working on Johnson Matthews. Drew two. Dunn walks with it. And a turnover.
But if you're USC, you're talking about we're getting a stop right here without fouling. And on the rebound, we're calling a timeout. We're moving it.
The ball in the hands of Mia Moore. Matched up with Jazzy Davidson, the two superstars. Davidson poked it away. Ball on the deck in midcourt. And a tie-up will keep it with Clemson.
Clemson still gets the ball, so that timeout execution still in hand.
5-second difference between game and shot clocks.
You want to be careful if you're Jazzy Davidson, too, because you're in the penalty.
10 to shoot. Thompson post feed. Hines on the block. Lost the handle. Ball on the deck. And another held ball gives it to USC.
I think Lindsay Gottlieb uses it right now. She's got to become a screamer because Demira Hines is playing center field. She's going to help on every possession.
Hines is on Mendez. Right here in the corner. Mendez wasn't expecting it. They get it to Dunn. Dunn gets tied up, and it goes back to Clemson.
Yeah, I don't think that was who they were supposed to get the ball to. I think Jazzy Davidson on the back cut is what they were looking for.
So now 4.4 for Clemson. They can't advance it without a timeout length of the court.
Yeah, you want to keep it in front of you right now. If you're in USC, just keep the ball in front of you. Force him to chuck it up.
Here's Mia Moore. Got to get it off. Got it to go! Mia Moore's magic! They will check it. Did Moore get it off in time?
There was no foul before the game clock expired. And the ball was still in her hand when the game clock expired. So right now we're going to overtime.
We hit zeros too, so it occurs after the buzzer. Dunn count. She didn't get it off in time if we go to overtime.
And they can actually clock it with a timer over there. So I really appreciate the diligence, the officiating crew, and getting that one right.
Yeah, that is really good stuff because there was so much to sort through in real time.
So much that most don't recognize.
An incredible March moment does not come to be for Mia Moore. And now you got to shift your emotions to overtime. Dunn backed it out. Williams a three. Swirled it out. Moore the rebound. All right, where do the emotions go? How do you reset if you're these head coaches?
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think the coaches, you're a little bit relieved, of course, if you're Lindsay Gottlieb, and disappointed if you're Sean Poppy.
Shot clock south of 10. Mia Moore Hezzy scoop and gets fouled by Malia Samuels.
She has the advantage in the angle when that happens.
For Clemson, this is the program's second overtime game in NCAA Tournament history. Lost in overtime in 1996. Round of 32 against Stephen F. Austin. For USC, it's third. 1982, Elite Eight. And 2023, first round, a couple of OT losses. Dunn. Backing down to the block. Dunn walked with it first.
But Tamira Hines is just playing center field, and she is ready for the back down. She is ready for a driving lane. She is not guarding Laura Williams at all. And so if you're USC, great take, Rachel Rose. But if you're at USC, you got to get some ball movement. You got to force Hines to stay engaged in some way, shape, or form.
25 in the way. Just camped out in the paint.
Just camped out in the paint, not doing anything.
Davidson pulls and hits. Tied at 64. Hines the ball screen. Rose for Johnson-Matthews. Into the paint. Blocked by Williams. And it stays at this end with 7 to shoot for the Tigers.
What a big-time shot by Jazzy Davidson. Again, you want to go underneath. Late switch. Jazzy Davidson, ice cold.
Five to shoot. Thompson goes to work on Dunn. The step back. No. And the rebound down to Smith. Samuels looking for Dunn. They reverse to Davidson. Davidson trying to shake Johnson-Matthews. Tough shot. Won't go. Off the foot of Hines. And Samuels ran it down.
You've got to engage. Hines is off who she's defending. Whether it's a fade screen after a pass, whether it's a dribble handoff, so she's got to come up. Good screen.
Davidson connects again!
That's a great play call by Lindsey Gottlieb. She pulled it out. She called it. Jazzy Davidson steps up and knocks down another big-time three.
The second highest scoring game of her young career. Davidson pried it away from Moore. 45 seconds to go. Clemson down 3. Johnson-Matthews attacks. Tough shot. Rolls off. Cleared by Dunn. 8-second difference. Game and shot clocks. You got a foul here?
No, you got a difference in the game and shot. I think you can play good, solid defense. You don't have to. I mean, Kennedy Smith, she just took 2 defenders with that screen. And how about Jazzy Davidson? Again, ice water in those veins, stepping up, knocking it down.
And Kara Dunn's at the line. 2 for 2 today. You see 74% for the season. Really stepped up starting with the beginning of the fourth quarter. 5-point Trojans lead. The question of up 5, do you foul?
Yeah, I mean, these are all the challenges of coaching. I think right now you can play it on. You certainly do have fouls to give if you think that you're getting beat. You play it honest, but you don't want to give up an uncontested 3, and you don't want to foul.
Cone, too strong. Rebound Smith, and she gets fouled by Hines. 6th-year senior, a 24-year-old who spent 5 years at Wake Forest and has had a good season in her 1 year with Clemson. Smith, a miss on the first. She split. 6-point game. Clemson out of timeouts with 17 seconds remaining. Moore, got to go quickly. Got bumped, kicks it out. Lee rises and connects. 8 seconds to go. And Lindsey Gottlieb will take her last USC timeout.
Compliment that Jazzy Davidson needed to get her a little bit of freedom.
So 8 seconds to go. Smith to put it in. Looking for somewhere to go. Found Samuels. Barely. So Malia Samuels goes to the line. See just 62%. Samuels a miss.
And you got multiple 3-point shooters on the floor.
Gets it to go to make it a 4-point USC lead. Morgan lead back in for Clemson. 6.7 to work with for the Tigers. Thompson in the lead. Handoff Moore. Moore tried to find Cone. Lee hoists. That's it. USC wins it in overtime and moves on to the second round.